Hi, and welcome to Bible Bytes. If you're grown up and out of the house, you probably remember what your family front door was like. I remember ours being this big wooden door, and you had to jiggle the key like just right for it to be able to open into this big farmhouse. And once you're inside, you just felt like you were home. That might not be the case for all of our memories of growing up, but today we're going to talk about what Jesus meant when he said, "I am the door." So more on that in a minute. So today's I am statement, Jesus says, "I am the door," or more specifically, "I am the door of the sheep." So if you want to turn in your Bibles with me, we're going to read from John chapter 10, verses 7 through 9. We read, "So Jesus said again to them, 'Truly, truly, I say to you, I am the door of the sheep. All who come before me are thieves and robbers, but the sheep did not listen to them. I am the door. If anyone enters by me, he will be saved and will go in and out and find pasture." This is a really cool I am statement, and I really had to dig into it a little bit to find kind of the context and the meaning of it. So the statement is that Jesus saying is he is the door, specifically the door of the sheep. Context is really important to understand. A lot of these statements, Jesus is using specific examples that the people back then could really relate to. Not many of us are sheep farmers or shepherds. I'm not even sure what the technical term is nowadays, but back then, this is something that they could really relate to. And this is really important because it plays into the significance of this statement. Back then, I was looking this up, they would have what was called a sheepfold, where many different families would kind of store their sheep for the evening or somewhere to keep them safe at night, or maybe even during the day. But it was usually kind of this big stone wall, maybe attached to a house or a cliffside or something. And there would be a little opening for the sheep to go in and out. And sometimes there would be a gate and sometimes there wouldn't be, but there'd always be the shepherd standing in front of it guarding the sheep. So this is kind of what Jesus is talking about when he says, "I am the door of the sheep." He's that person that's standing and letting the sheep in and out. It's kind of the context of that. And further significance, Israel was referred to a lot like sheep when God was being like a shepherd leading them around through the wilderness. So that's a little bit more significance of that. So by Jesus saying that he is saying, "I am the door," he is talking about how we can become a part of God's family, how we can essentially get into the sheepfold. And this is what is so cool about this statement. If we want to look more at how we can apply this to our lives, we can look in Galatians chapter 4, verses 4 through 5 tell us how we are a part of God's family through Jesus. "But when the fullness of time had come, God sent his Son, born of woman, under the law, to redeem those under the law, that we might receive adoption as sons." So there you have it. Through Jesus, we are adopted into God's family. That is probably one of my favorite parts of just the gospel in general, is that we didn't have to do anything. It was all through Jesus. We just have to accept that free gift. So Jesus says, "I am the door," and he is the door into God's family. He's the door when we open and we just feel like we're at home. So what can we do to apply this I am statement in our life? Are you a part of God's family? If you haven't taken that step yet, I would encourage you to do so. You can go to growingwithjesus.com if you have taken that step to continue to grow in God's family. And then for all of us that maybe take that for granted, of being a part of God's family, just thank God for the cross and just how amazing it was that he sent his son so that we could become a part of his family. That is just truly amazing, that Jesus is the only way into the sheepfold of God's family. I hope this Bible Bite was encouraging, and I'll see you guys next time for the next I am statement. Bye.